Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to create a render like this using Midjourney images or images from Google or whatnot to get these textures and details. Okay, so we're going to start off with some mesh, maybe like a circle. Let's give it some more vertices, 64. And we go to edit mode, pull that face, insert. We can delete this face. Then we can select it all, scale it up, select it all, extrude it up, maybe something like that. Okay, before we add any material, I'm just going to add in a camera so we can kind of see what's happening. And I'm just going to change this out here. 350. Possibly 25mm will be good. And then we can just bring that in around about here, scale that down a bit, and move this camera just a bit to the left. Okay, so we need some light, so we're going to add in a plane. We're going to select a new material there and drop in whatever kind of image you want. So this will plug in straight into the emission and into the alpha. From there we'll create a color ramp, plug it straight in there, and you can kind of see what it's doing here. Bump up the emission to about 90 or so, and just get rid of that outer glow there. That should be perfect. We will just get this into our scene nicely and go back in there. Just gonna box that off right there. Okay, so we got our mesh, we got our emission texture there. So let's work on this ring. What we're gonna need is some sort of brick kind of texture. So I was thinking maybe the stone floor would be great. Okay, so we're gonna need to just scale, apply scale, do a cube projection. Let's see how this is looking. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, so then we need to get in that Mayan detailed looking image. This is the image I'm going to be using. I got it off of Google. I kind of typed in like 2D Aztec symbol engraving detail. So we'll bring this up and take this, and then we can mix it in here with the color, the base color. So we'll put that in there, drag that into P. This needs to be put onto multiply. Okay, so that's in. It's starting to show up on this side, but you can't really see anything happening down here. That's where this add-on comes in. So in your shader editor, this right column here, you get an add-on called Deep Bump that you'll need to download and install. And what this thing does is when you click on the color image, you can generate a normal map. It's really useful if you're wanting to do something like this. So there's our normal map. What you're gonna have to do is save this image, otherwise it will disappear. So we'll just save it here. And this you can just replace with the normal map that's been made with the rock texture. We can just delete that and put that back in there to make things neat. Okay, there we go. Something is starting to show now. It's actually looking really cool, even though I haven't UV mapped it. So let's just do that quick. UV map. You can box select that and bring it anywhere we would like. Anywhere where it would seem like it fits in. I mean, that looks pretty great, actually. There's a lot of detail. You can see like this rim is perfect. Well, not perfect, but it kind of matches what the mesh is doing. You know what? We could even do this. Select that, go to options, correct face attributes. So when we scale it, it won't mess up the whole UV. And there we can kind of get to where we want it. I mean, including these little triangle arrow things, that'll be amazing. Maybe we should make a big one. I'm just gonna move this up a bit, and that should be good. I think let's adjust this back piece here as well. That looks amazing. Okay. All the sides are also kind of decent. I mean, you're not gonna notice it that much in here, but at least we got this top face. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I've deleted the roughness. I'm gonna take this base image, this image that we put in, and I'll duplicate it and put it here for the roughness. So that's straight into the roughness. We'll go color ramp, put that color ramp there, and adjust it so that we can get some sort of a glow and like separation from the detail and the base of this mesh. Oh, we can kind of keep it like that. That's pretty decent. Okay, so now that we've got this, we can maybe just add in a floor, yeah. Just a quick thing, something you can do with this material, yeah, is going to use saturation value, plug it in there, and you can kind of change the color as well if you wanted. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to bring up saturation and the value just to get that gold kind of look to it. It'll just bring it out more, that orangey kind of golden look to it. Okay, so we can go noise texture, plug that into the roughness, and a color ramp. Base color, we need it all the way black. And then we can adjust for the color ramp, but let's first put this on about 80, 90, put the detail up, roughness up. Then we can kind of see that grungy floor coming through. We'll just have to adjust this. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so to improve this mesh, we'll take maybe all of those, and let's just line it up here again. I think it's all of these. So I'm kind of selecting the whole loop around here, and to do that you're gonna have to click Alt and left click, so it kind of selects the whole thing. So Shift Alt left click will give you that, That's not the right ones. There we go. Okay, that's kind of good. Extrude, and then or extrude, click, and then we'll Alt S to scale it in all directions. That'll give us a nice little bump on that. Let's get rid of this so we can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna scale that back in just a bit. Or we could do that. That's also very cool. Okay, so let's do that. Now, these parts that we've scaled or extruded now, we're gonna have to UV map those quick. So select all of those. Yeah, all of those are selected. Then we go U and cube projection. That will give them their detail back. And it won't look so stretched. Okay, so that's looking quite cool. Okay, let's duplicate this. We can maybe bring it in here for now, and then we'll go back into edit mode, get this face, and scale it. Scale it up until there. I mean, maybe right there would be good. And with this now we can add stuff like maybe to the outside. That's kind of looking quite cool. Maybe one in the middle as well. Just to bring like a step down onto the actual floor. I mean, we can maybe try and rotate these things, but I mean, that's all up to you. I'm just showing you how I got to that render. So that's kind of looking cool. Maybe we'll leave it there. Sure. Okay. Should we, you know what we could do is add one here and bevel that and extrude it up a little bit. That's it. No, there we go. Just to add that extra step there. Now, what I like to do is control and join everything, Control J. Giving it a bit of a bevel is also always good to get rid of those hard edges. Just a tiny bit of bevel catches the light, and it doesn't look so eyesore with sticking out so much. Okay, that looks good. Now, what I did for that render was I went into top view and, well, I can't really see that now, but we can take this, duplicate, and just move it around. Maybe even scale it up a bit. Okay, cool. So what we're missing here is some volume. So add in a cube, scale it over the whole scene. We go to the shader editor, delete the principled. We'll add in a volume scatter node and put that into the volume. We'll scroll in there to update it. Bring this all the way down to about 0.020, 0.010. Just gotta kind of feel it. Also have this at about 700 or 0.700 to 0.800. So what this does is it kind of brings it towards the light or shines away from the light. So we want it to kind of ring around this light, yeah. That's kind of cool. Okay, so what we want to do is add some sort of a someone viewing this art. So some sort of character. If you have a character in mind, what I'm going to do is go to my procedural crowds. It's another add-on. I can link it if you guys want. And just add in an individual human. So we'll do that now. Something like that. Scale him down and rotate him towards the eye. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. So what we want is him to silhouette in this glowing area. So we'll just bring him back a little bit. Make him quite small, and it will just make the whole scene look humongous, which is also cool sometimes. And then you can get his whole shadow in the back here as well, which is super nice. Okay. Okay, yeah, that looks great. Okay, so we've got that. Do we need anything else? I mean, it's up to you. You can work on these objects a lot longer, make them look really, really intricate with just minor detail changes. So let's render this out. So what you need to do to kind of get a good volume render is go to your light paths and add on. So this is in render properties. We'll go down light paths and click on full global illumination. What this will do is bring all of these up to 32. It will activate your reflective and refractive caustics. That'll just get things bouncing, or will get light bouncing a lot better, and it'll light your scene up a bunch better. Okay, so I rendered this out. It didn't look too great with that back piece. I'm gonna just take this single one that we separated. I'm gonna bring it in here and scale it maybe about there. Bring it a bit closer. Duplicate that, scale it up, bring it out. Duplicate again, scale, and bring it out more. And just keep doing that until you fill the back scene. Something like that is good. Okay. I think what we can do, what would make it look great, is get one of these, scale it, and kind of put it like this, so we get some sort of a also another thing, let's just center that nicely. Here we go. We just bring it maybe somewhere here, and we'll duplicate that again, and oopsie, and bring that down that kind of looks sick. For some extra lighting detail, I think we might be able to add in a spotlight and bring that up here, bring it up there, and rotate. We'll just bump this up to 2000 for now, maybe even more. Let's go 9000. You can always change it. Get that nice and centered. Increase the spot, blend, and then radius. That's bringing out some nice detail. Okay, so then we can get this lowered and just enough so that we can get some detail out of this mesh here. Let's just see if we lower this a bit. That kind of looks good. Okay. And I mean, you can play around with the color. Maybe you want some blue in there, or some orange. I'm gonna leave it as white for now. Okay, let's render this out. Okay, it's done rendering. We got our image. Save that to wherever you want. And also your blend file, which I should have done before this. Okay, so we got our photo in Photoshop. What we can do is duplicate this layer and go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and crank this up until about there so we get a nice glow on it. We'll change this to screen and double click on the image, alt click to get this arrow or this pointer away from that one. Otherwise you'll just bring both of them and it'll look weird. So alt click, grab that, and we want to try and make a nice glow effect, or glare at least. Can change the fill. That kind of looks good. Okay, now that we got that, what I like to do is get some sort of a lens dirt or something, just an image with lens dirt or flare or whatnot. Let's see what this is doing. Okay, so color dodge, that kind of gives off another little light detail there, a little bit of a glow. That's pretty cool. Okay, maybe we even take one of these. Which way would that work? I think this side. We'll change that to color dodge and apply that. That's kind of looking okay. I mean, there's with it off. That's with it on. It's giving off some more effects around the eye. Okay, so now with that, we can select all of these layers. Hold Shift, Control, Alt, and E to create a new layer. So that layer is basically all of those in one layer. So now that we got that, we can go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filters. Okay. Camera Raw Filter is where we can really do some different changes to it. So sometimes this auto kind of picks up the right things, but we can just move along with feeling it out. Contrast, just to bring out some more detail. Highlights, we can leave that where it is. Shadow, and I mean, your image is probably going to be different, so obviously you'll have different things, but I mean, to get this, what you'll do is alt click on this and you'll kind of see what changes it's making. So I kind of guess we need some more detail here. So bumping that up would be a good thing. So we'll leave it about there. Whites, we'll drag that there. The blacks, we can have that there. Some clarity is always good. Not too much, maybe not even any at all. For this image, it's kind of bringing, maybe we can turn down the contrast. Okay, we'll leave it around about there. Saturation, we can bump that up. And maybe vibrance. What is that doing? Kind of overdoing it a little bit, so we'll just keep it there. Now we can, I mean, we could play with this temperature as well if we wanted. I'm just gonna leave it as is. So we'll go to the effects and do some grain. It's always good to have some grain in the render. Not too much, but also you don't want it to look too rendery, so grain is good. We'll leave it about there. Some vignetting. So we'll do that and we'll just feather that. It's kind of looking good. Okay, so we can click OK. So you can kind of see what that raw filter is doing. From there, we can take this and get a color lookup. Okay, so you can just scroll through here, kind of feel out what looks good. That actually looks really cool. So we'll just scroll through and see what we kind of want. We'll go with drop blues, and then you can kind of bring down the opacity, kind of see what looks good. Maybe around about there. Around about there looks good. Also, you can bring in a curve and just kind of adjust little things. Obviously, I'm not a professional when it comes to Photoshop. This is just all based on what I've learned from other YouTubers. And kind of just, the more you use it, the more you kind of realize what's good, what's not good. And yeah, it just comes with practice. Practice makes perfect. That's kind of looking good. So we'll save this, save it as a PNG, and give it a name. Compression none, and then we can kind of go back to that and see and compare what we've done. Okay, so we've got our Blender render image here and the photoshopped image. So I mean, you can see the difference it's making. It's a big difference, and you could add so much more to this geometry here. Make it look really intricate, really detailed. But as you can see, imagine spending so much time trying to model out all of this stuff. That's just a nightmare. So using images as bump noise really helps a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Yeah, I know I'm not the best at explaining, but I think I'll get there. Yeah, thanks for watching.
I've been running for so long, unclear about the path I was on. I was